Hey everybody, Spidey Joe 9 here. Hope you're having a marvelous day. I have a treat for you. I've got Ian Fisher here, Mr. Heavy Metal himself, and he likes heavy metal as a music, but he's really known for heavy metal because this guy has really toted around one of the best metal card collections in the Marvel collecting world. Period. Probably the best, Ian. Right? I mean, I don't think anybody can even come close to saying they had quite the Marvel PMG collections that you've had, and Ian hit me up last night and was congratulating me on a pretty cool card that I've acquired here recently, and said, "Hey, let's chat." And I was like, "Dude, you're reading my mind. This is something I've been wanting to do anyway." So, man, it's an honor to have you on the channel. Thank you for jumping in. Do you want to give a little bit more of an introduction?
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here. Yeah, I've been a Marvel collector since, well, 94, I think, is my first time I bought a pack of cards. So little background on that. It was actually Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my guy. I'm assuming that's your guy as well.
Him and Wolverine. Spider-Man probably just a tick more, but Wolverine for sure too.
Definitely. Yeah, same here. Yeah, it was 94. As you know, 94 is the big year for Marvel cards, right? That's kind of the year it took off. And what was I, 10 years old at that point? So
Right.
I lived in West Jordan, Utah, which is a pretty good sized city. Went down to my grandma's house and she took me down to the local store. There's like 2,000 people that live there. It's like a small little town. And this grocery store happened to have 94 Fleer Ultra Spider-Mans.
I love it.
And yeah, my friends in school, they all liked it. They actually knew what the cards were. So I begged my grandma to buy me one and opened it up. And I got a Dr. Octopus suspended animation. That was my first hit, first pack.
You're been hooked ever since?
Hooked ever since. Yep, pretty much.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I don't want to say that Fleer Ultra 94 is my first ever, but you know what? It probably was 94. I would have been 11. And my first packs were going to be the Fleer Ultra. Gosh, what am I can't think of them right now. The thicker cards with the higher gloss.
Oh, Flair.
Flair, not Fleer, Flair. And then the X-Men set.
Yep.
And then from there I went to Spider-Man. I love that Spider-Man set to this day. Still enjoy
it's
it.
amazing.
But hey, I was going to just acknowledge this comment. Hey, Crypto, we're going to talk about PMGs, and I'll be sure that we hit your question up here a little bit, okay? But so with 1994, starting to collect Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, like how did your collecting grow from there? Were you collecting as a kid, and then you stopped for a little while and then came back? What was going on?
Great question. That's actually kind of like I think most of us. You know, for a few years, 95s, I bought the 95 Fleer Ultra X-Men and Spider-Mans. I put those sets together, and then 96, 97 hit, and that's when start getting in your teens, and no longer cards are important. Girls are important.
Right. That's
Friends
true.
are important.
They are true. They are important.
So actually, I stopped collecting cards clear until 2013.
Wow. So 2013 rolls around, and it's serendipitous for you, right? Like just so happened that Fleer
no big
Ultra
deal.
Retro.
Yeah, I was going through my collection. I was thinking, I've got a bunch of cards in my box in my closet. Let's get rid of these things. I can sell them. So I go online, I start pricing things out, and I see, you know what? It's not worth it. These they're not worth very much. A whole set of 94s or whatever, 30, $40, not worth dealing with it. So I had a few holes. So I went on eBay to start filling in these holes. And what happened is I fell across the Fleer Ultra X-Men parallels in 2013 retros. So I looked at it and I'm thinking, man, what are these? I don't have these cards. These aren't in the set. What's going on here? And they're selling for $4 or $5 a base card. That's ridiculous. What's going on? So started researching it, hit the sold listings, and I'm seeing these PMGs, and I'm seeing all this stuff that's just selling like crazy. And I was thinking, man, 200 and what was it? I think it was $230 a box at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. And I told my wife, I'm like, we should check it out. We should check out these PMGs, because I started doing the back research on the original PMGs from the 97 metal basketball universe. Seeing the Michael Jordan sell for 80, 90,000. I'm like, man, that's ridiculous. Wow. Yeah. So I'm like, let's go for it. So we got one box. I opened it up. I didn't even know what a sketch card was.
Okay.
Right. So I pull. Did you see the Glebe that was on sale on Golden Auctions?
I did.
I pulled that card first
That was
box.
your. Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Thor Glebe, right?
The Thor and Hulk. Yep.
Thor and Hulk. Wow. Wow. You were.
I look at it and you can see it. I could look at it and see the paint on it, and I kind of froze. I'm like, this is not printed. This is painted. I had no idea what's going on here.
Wow, dude, that is sick that you pulled that sketch in your first box.
First box, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have a prayer after that. You were hooked.
Yep, I'm done.
you were toasted. That's right. Wow, Glebe. And so, for those who don't know, Glebe, you give their full name. Say it correctly.
Mick and Matt.
Mick and Matt, two brothers, and I've seen videos where they're like both on the same image at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, they work on them together. So I'm not sure who does what, who does the penciling, who does the shading, whatever, but it's painting. They use a lot of different mediums, which is really cool.
Yeah, they really kind of create some dimension and texture to a small, trading card. It's really amazing what they do. And so, people really hunt those and seek those. And so you got a very desirable sketch card in your first box.
Yeah. Well, I got graded 9.5 and sold for 1,300. So I
can't beat that.
Can't complain.
I was looking at a Glebe last night that's on eBay, just admiring it. Oh, and I think it was at $1,200, $1,195 or something. Good looking card.
Which one was it?
I can't remember who was on the image. That's what I can't remember. I was going to say it, but it's not coming to the top of my mind. I remember the price. I remember going, no, not right now. I like sketch cards, but they don't move me to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a weird market. I think 2013 was really the push of most Marvel cards. To be honest, with the retro, I think it hooked a lot of people, not just myself. A lot of people, they saw that because it's nostalgic. I mean, it has all these different variables, these from the 90 sets, and people just love them. They're with new art.
So Ian, just again, because we're gonna have a lot of people that they're not in the Marvel card world as much. But the Flair Retro set was like deliberately attacked the nostalgia of guys like Ian and myself. And it had versions that looked like the original early 90s cards in the set. So similar like card layout, similar print, from Metal to Flair to Marvel Universe, all these different cards and kind of a callback to them. And then it was heavy laden with inserts. You had a number of different types of inserts, right? You had the PMGs, spinning animation. Yeah.
Yeah, I can name all of them. I pretty much have the master set of the 13 retro still.
What?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
minus the greens.
Yeah.
Minus the green PMGs, obviously. I'm going to throw those out the window.
Yeah.
Probably about half of those jambalayas are missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest, I've got maybe one autograph I'm missing out of. So, but other than that, it's all there. And the blue Spider-Man, obviously.
Blue, yeah.
I sold that. Which that's the only one I really regret. Let me see. But I think most people look for these guys right here.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Wow, that's a beautiful card. Yeah. And then we got Deadpool. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So those were not graded, right?
I sent off, so originally the original grade, I want to talk about this. It's one thing that most people don't know. That green Spider-Man that sold, the $34,000 card, that is the exact same card that's registered under PSA as a 10.
Oh, okay. So hold on. So, guys, for those who don't know, Golden Auctions held an auction with a Beckett 9, right? BGS graded 9 green Spider-Man from 2013 Flair Retro set PMG sold for $34,000. You're saying it was a PSA 10 prior to so you had it regraded as a Beckett?
Yeah. So when I first got this card, I sent it off to PSA. I sent a bunch of cards to PSA. Actually, they're all pretty much gone at this point. And it came back a 10.
Wow.
Yeah. And I really only did it, not necessarily just to grade it, because I'm not a big grading guy. I wasn't back then, 2013, it wasn't a big deal. So I went to PSA because I did a little research. People say that's the company to go with. Came
Mhm.
back at 10. I've got pictures of it still, which is really cool.
That is cool.
It's the only one. I don't think there's even a nine in there. I'm not sure. I have to look at
I
it.
don't I honestly. I mean, there probably is, but I don't even recall another 13 PMG that's a 10. The
Yeah.
green. I mean, green 10. I haven't.
It's
Bunch of
it's
nines.
the only one. Yep. So what happened is when you look at with PSA, I'm not endorsing anybody, by the way.
Yeah.
PSA, I prefer Beckett. Just to be honest. They have
Is it an aesthetic thing?
no. I think that they're a little more tedious about their grading.
Mhm.
They're a little more strict about their grading. They give you corner, center, edge, surface. They actually give you a breakdown of it. And to be honest, I see a lot of PSA cards that handed out like they hand tens out like candy. I think somebody posted online that's exact comment.
Right. Right. Although
So,
there's rumor that they're getting, a little more.
I hope
tight.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, it's just like
we'll see when I get my PSA order back.
I've been kind of holding off to see what goes on as far as grading and everything, but the reason I had an issue with it was because I did this mainly to slab. That was my thing. I want it protected. I didn't want anything happening to it if it ever got rained on, water, fire, whatever. Keep it
Right.
safe, that type of thing.
Right.
But the card literally slid around inside the slab. It didn't move. It slammed against the edges, top, bottom, left, right. And I could imagine the surface getting scratched. So I was like, nope. I heard the PSA has sleeves, or Beckett has sleeves inside of them. So I had to regrade it.
Really?
Yep.
And so you sent it off. Did you send? Well, you didn't have 15 at that time. So this is.
Actually, I did have the 15s at that time.
Okay.
I had all of them. I had the gold at that time. And there was a Beckett representative in my local card shop during one of the card shows, and I just gave it to him personally.
Oh, wow. Okay. So again, for the viewers who may not know, 2013 release had PMGs. Skip a year, 2015, Flare Ultra Spider-Man comes out. Is that right? Or Flare Ultra
15 retros.
15 retros.
Follow-up.
Is a follow-up. And then it has PMGs as well, but they introduced a new parallel called the Gold 1 of 1. And tell us about that. So you pulled the green Spider-Man.
Pulled the first green. Yep.
And then you're in 2015.
2015. So this is another reason I kind of do my breakers thing, which we can talk about later. That's actually where I pulled my green, was a break room.
Wow.
The 15 green. So here's a story. You guys, I think a lot of people like this story. I tell it at work all the time.
I can't wait.
We're in a break room. Most of us, what we would do, because you have 6 boxes in a retro case.
Break room at work.
No, break room. This guy was actually in Florida. I'm in Utah, so online.
Sorry. You're in a break room breaking boxes of cards. You said
breaking, yes, breaking, yes, card breaking room.
Gotcha.
So we all get together and we share cases. We didn't do like I'm doing packs, right? We're doing one box and 5 people do boxes. Usually it was me and some other guy that would do half a case each. So we do 3 boxes at a time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I did one day I did a half a case, did 6 boxes, nothing. The very next day, I was actually at band practice in Salt Lake, and I get a text that somebody bought my other half of my case and hit the Spider-Man green.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
I was devastated, man. I packed up so fast and head home. I wanted to see this thing. So I'm texting everybody, because there's a lot of guys in the group. We're texting each other. Right. I finally get home, pull it up. To come to find out, I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's a Spider-Man green that has blue ink across it.
No, never seen it.
Yeah, it's an error card.
Wow.
It has a big blue streak on it. Yeah.
Ew.
So I was like, that sucks, like.
Right.
But he's thinking, this is going to be great. It's an error card. People are going to like it. It's a small market though.
I'm not an error guy, but yeah, I get it. There is some people out there that hunt for them.
Yeah. So very next case,
PMG.
Yeah, that was rough. I actually held that PMG. I actually sold it for the guy. He gave it to me to sell for him. So I had 2 Green Spider-Mans at one point. But anyway, so the same guy buys the first 3 boxes of the very, very next case, right there in the card shop. Nothing. I buy the second half of the next case. Kid you not? Spider-Man green, 2 in a row.
Wow. Out of 10. Okay, everybody, just make sure everyone is on the same page. there's only 10 green Spider-Man. I'm gonna give you, here's my example. I have the 2017 2099, and you don't know if you can see it, but it's numbered 6 of 10. So Ian is saying that he pulled 2 of the greens for the same character. That's sick. Like that's absolutely nuts. I mean, I just opened up a case and a half of X-Men metal and I pulled 1 green PMG. So for you to pull
2 cases that had 0 green PMGs in it.
Yeah. So to get 2 of this, not only 2 of the same character, you just led this whole conversation with, hey, I'm a Spider-Man fan. And you're a Spider-Man fan, and so is everybody else. It's the #1 character to collect, period. It's not even, there's not even a close second, in my opinion, than Spider-Man. If you pull 2 of the green PMGs, that's just nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But the story doesn't stop there, does it?
No, it doesn't. No. So now I've got the rainbow. I've got the red, blues, and greens of both years at this point. And I'm searching for the gold. Who knows where it's at, right? So, was this October 15 comes around? I think retros have been out since July. I think they were released in July of 15, something like that.
Sounds about right.
And I'm actually in the hospital giving birth to my son.
Oh, wow.
My wife's in labor. I'm sitting there. And what happens is the gold Spider-Man pops up on, I'm scrolling, it pops up as I'm on eBay.
Oh, wow. As a buy it now,
you know what I
auction?
did? What's that?
Was it a buy it now or auction?
Buy it now. Yep. I personally emailed the guy and said, hey man, I need this card. I have to have it.
Right.
I've got the rest. This is my card. I need it. What do I need to do?
Right.
We negotiated something. I was not financially able to afford the card.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a car paid off. So I went down to my local title loan shop and pulled a title loan on my car. And I bought the gold Spider-Man.
So, okay. So can I unpack this just a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. So most reasonable people would say, don't use debt to buy a Marvel card. Don't use your car as collateral to get a loan to buy a Marvel card.
And you should still not do that.
Yeah, no. I get it, and we're gonna continue to give that advice. I don't want to change that here, and having some sense of the world of banking, it really doesn't matter how great of a borrower you are. When you borrow against a used car, you don't get a great rate, but you did, and it turned out to be a really wise financial move. And so I'm with you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't borrow money. Don't use a credit card. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the fact that you had like incredible clarity about what you were doing.
Yeah, I also had a plan to pay it off. I work in sales, so I have commissions that were coming, and I knew that it was going to be something I could cover.
Right. You knew you could go out there. But again, the clarity is that, hey, this is something that I want. I'm willing to do what it takes to get it and go get it. And then, like you said, you had a wise plan to pay it off. And then that card eventually sold, right?
Yeah.
And I think the last I saw was 31,000.
About 31,000, yep.
Yeah. And so just incredible, man. That's so you held the full rainbow, the 2015 Spider-Man, which is the 2015 Spider-Man is my favorite in terms of
it's such a good looking card. I love the pose, the web slinging. It's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a blue that just came up, a PSA 10 blue that just came up on eBay, PWCC. And if I had just not spent the money that I've spent to get the gold, I would be looking hard at it.
Yeah.
But it's the blue's just out of 50, and but it is graded at 10, so I think that's a big deal.
It is, yeah. They're just so. I mean, they chip and they're so fragile. I mean, it's hard to get a good grade on those things. Right.
And this is a personal question. Is there any kind of leadway you think with the PMG? Because they know that the thick cards, they chip, they white edges a lot more easily, that kind of thing. Derek said engagement ring or Marvel cards. Marvel cards wins the battle. I don't know about that one, buddy.
I had the wedding ring purchased beforehand, so we're good to go. My wife
We're
was
good.
satisfied. She was okay with it.
Look, my wife and I had been together since she was 14 and I was 15. And I had to lay off of anything Marvel related for the first 15 years of our marriage because I had a family to take care of, like 100% nonstop all day taking care of my girls. I have 2 daughters. And then about 2016, 17, the tide began to turn a little bit in terms of me being able to focus financially. And not only financially, we finally had a place where we had space. Because I'm an open collector. I like to visually look at what I collect. If I can't look at it, I want to sell it. I don't, I can do a couple of binders, but even now, like I have the gold PMG displayed by Spider-Man.
Oh, there you go. Spider-Man holding himself. Awesome.
Isn't that cool? So, but yeah, so that's 2015, and you're heavy in. You're buying cases, half cases at a time, and
I spend more money than I like to admit.
Right. I'm with you on that. And so then how do you see now that you, in a sense, you kind of crossed the top of the mountain, right? In a sense, and that depends on how you perceive collecting. But how do you see yourself as a collector moving forward into the future?
That's a good question. I don't know. You're right about top. I mean, I've got the card collection. That's this is the holy grail. I had it. It's sad
what
to see
everybody
it
else is after. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. So you're right. I've hit that. I look at the way I look at cards also as an investment. I love the hobby, right? It's a hobby. I love Spider-Man, love X-Men, all that since I was a kid. But I also look at it as an investment. So I look at things like the retro 13s. I look at that as PMGs first. It's the first time they're ever introducing PMGs. I look at Spider-Man, highest characters, like compared to Michael Jordan. That's the card I'm going for.
Right.
Fast forward to 16. If you look at the Joe Jusko masterpieces, that's the first time they reintroduced that. Look at them now. They're expensive. I mean, they're ridiculously hard to find. I wish I could have got into those more.
Right.
But fast forward to this year. I mean, looking at Marvel X-Men, this is the first time they've done medals again since 1995. Not only that, they went back to the original PMG numbering system.
Is that the original? So, okay, hold on.
It's the original numbering system, yeah. So the way they did it, first 10 are green, and the 11, well, technically 11 through 100 are the reds.
Okay, so I didn't know that, actually. Yeah. And, I mean, I appreciate it, but I did not realize that. Okay. Now, but they have other parallels in this X-Men metal set, like the pinks. How do you like those? They're not PMGs. First of all, they're not PMGs.
Which is stupid. I hate that, actually. I've been selling them on eBay for $20 out of 75. It's like, why isn't of 75 selling for less than of 90? Just because it doesn't say PMG Precious Metal Gems on it. So I think that's a weird thing, but
yeah, some of them look better. If it wouldn't take too long, I'd pull out a couple of them, but like the pink Gambit looks better in my opinion. The pink Lady Deathstrike, the base card where she's got her claws up, like that one looks really, really good. The pink Dazzler looks incredible. And these are number cards to 75 out of 2.5 million cards.
Crazy.
Yeah, and they're, like you said, selling for $20. So I don't, had a chance to have a conversation with Upper Deck, and I told him, I said, look, you see how people are now paying $300 a box, and how popular these cards are. People want these to be the same quality as the 95 metal, the 2013 Flair Retro, and the cards are not to that level of quality. But we want it to be. The market is speaking, and so you need to be thinking about that moving forward into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the art is great. I mean, there are throwback pictures. I mean, they're not original art like your masterpieces, but I like the art. especially the high series where it's got the
Yeah,
originals. They got the Jim Lees, the McFarlanes, and things like that. You know, those are
right.
awesome. So but you can tell. I mean, it literally looks like they cut the cards with scissors. You know,
Like perforated scissors, like if you were making like a picture collage or something. Yeah.
well, I have a really high card from the
Hmm.
X-Men. I'm not going to mention what it is because I want to
Okay.
sell it in the future. I want people to look.
Right.
But it's not completely square. It's hard to fit into. I had to find a magnetic one touch that happened to be just a little bit wider for the
Yeah.
card to actually fit down inside of it because one of the bottoms is off centered. It's kind of like that, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a hot it's a big card.
That's a big one. Huh? Got you.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Wow. Now you are breaking boxes now, and right now it
Yeah.
happens to be X-Men metal because that's what's new and available, right? Are you going to be breaking anything else?
So I'm planning on doing this continuously. So
Hmm.
I'm doing it again this Thursday,
Hmm.
same time, 7 Central, or I'm going to be just to continue the case that we had before from last week.
Right.
I'll be doing the ages. Ages are a little bit tougher. And it's so much product.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cheaper product. But I mean, it's got some good
Right.
hits in it.
Right.
But anything else that comes out, I'm planning on getting some cases of. I want to
Mhm.
get involved in breaking it too because it doesn't seem like anybody else is doing it at this point.
Mm-mm.
Not like they used
No.
to back in 15. I mean, I used to break Marvel premieres like crazy, retros like crazy, masterpieces. It's just kind of went away.
Yeah, not Marvel stuff. I mean, I've seen other breaks at a
Cards,
high
yeah, I
level.
like the sports cards, and they
Hmm.
still do those a lot.
So, according to some people at Upper Deck, they will be having uh, a Spider-Man metal set eventually. I don't know when, but I'm hoping that they increase the quality and we get some really good, PMGs and parallels in there.
Man,
Hmm.
I kind of figured they did because they did it the opposite. They did the Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, and they did the Fleer Ultra X-Men.
Hmm.
I kind of assumed that they were going to do Spider-Man. I was kind of hoping they didn't.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
straight, man.
And I think
I
they're
mean,
gonna, but I think it's going to be Avengers too. Like I think they're going to continue X-Men, Avengers, Spider-Man. Like I think that's the plan
yeah,
instead of lumping it all
Spider-Man.
together.
I'm screwed, man. My bank account's going to be gone.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I'm like, hey, you gotta take a really large deep breath and sell everything else. Prepare for it.
You got to take a year or so to prepare. Absolutely, that's kind of one thing I knew about the X-Men. So it's kind of getting prepared to know that I'm going to be getting some of these cards.
Hmm. Hmm. So you spent some time preparing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say I did not. So for me, I didn't get back into Marvel collecting at a significant level until January of this year. So my Marvel card buying, like I said, I was taking care of my family, and then when I started being able to purchase stuff, our local comic book shop at the time we had two. None of them carried new product. Period. And what little product they had in the store is what they would basically buy for pennies on the dollar. And people walking in selling collections, and then they would offer them up as whole binders or like a box of cards. They didn't sell singles or anything, so I bought some of that stuff, and then I bought a couple of collections like out of the trunk of a car where a guy's like, "Hey, I'll sell you my stuff." But in January, obviously the Marvel card boom starts to occur,
Yeah.
and I become aware of it, and I made a video about it on YouTube, and it's been like every day since then,
Yeah.
nonstop.
Well, I was kind of out of the game from about 16 to January of this year. I was actually kind of out of it.
Somewhat similar. Yeah, I got you. Well, my
Yeah.
point is I went really deep in Marvel Masterpiece 2020 on EPAC in February,
Oh, really?
and didn't really understand EPAC or even really the Marvel Masterpiece as it is now in comparison to what we grew up with 92, 93, 94, 95. I only had a few. I had like one pack of cards that I opened of 96 when I was a kid, and I have those in a sleeve. But I went full tilt on that. Yeah, I went a little too deep, just because I was like, wow, haven't done this since I was a kid, and I was hitting some stuff, and
Those are
actually
good looking
hit.
cards.
They really are. And see if I've got it here. I hit. Where do I have it? I'll have to find it here in a minute. But I the best card I hit was the Metal Spider-Man, numbered out of 25.
Oh,
That's
really? Okay.
That's my best card.
Let me see if I got mine here. So I did the same. I actually, what is it? I think it was April of this year.
Uh-huh.
I was getting antsy about these medals because they keep pushing them off and pushing them off, you know. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. So April, I decided, hey, I'm gonna spend the $400 a box for the Marvel masterpieces.
Right.
I don't know how much they originally were. I was just like, man, I've got to break something. This is getting ridiculous. I'm getting antsy.
Right.
So I one box, and I got. Oh man, my camera's horrible.
Oh, that's
Deadpool Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope. Now those are what, out of 25?
These are up 25. Yep.
Good job, dude. And Deadpool too.
Yep.
Now, are you a Deadpool fan?
I am. Yeah.
So here's that's out of 25.
Fresno. Oh, wait, is that no? That's the.
Yeah, this is a.
It looks
this
like
is,
Fresno's, don't they?
This is a red canvas, red full spectrum.
Yeah.
Out of 25.
That's amazing.
Spider-Man. But I sent off and got it graded, and it came back a 7.
Those look like the Fresnos from the ages. They have the little circle.
They do, now that you say it. I recognize that. Let's see. I think I got it here. I'm going to show you the metal can. There's the metal.
Oh, there you go.
It is numbered out of 25. You can see that.
That's amazing.
That's kind of when I stopped. When I finally hit that, I was like, okay, I'm out. I got what I wanted, and I'm gonna leave. I got a couple others like this auto here.
Oh,
this is a level 4 Wolverine.
Nice.
So, and for people who don't know, I don't know what the odds are because this one's not numbered. Their level 4 is not numbered. It's not a numbered card.
No, they're not. The base should be numbered. Is that a base? Did they not serial number the bases?
Let's look. Because I got my COM-C sleeve here. Normally, COM-C will put the number if it's numbered, but I don't think it is. Nope.
No, huh?
It's a gold signature. It's upside down. Gold signature.
Oh, it's the gold signatures. Yeah, that's awesome.
And level 4. So those are really my best hits. Got some cool sketches. Got a Spider-Man 2099 sketch that I'm really happy with. And kind of a cool sketch that I didn't mean to get was this one. This is White Rabbit. And what's funny about that is it's blonde hair, green eyes. My wife has blonde hair, green eyes, and has 2 rabbits.
Awesome. You need to have that.
So I thought I was supposed to have this card, so it's not for sale or trade. So, but I enjoy them, and I had to pull out my 2020 Marvel Masterpiece today for a trade that I'm doing, and I really was kind of like, man, I forgot how much I like these cards, especially after holding so many metals, X-Men metal. These are just such higher quality.
Yeah, they're just so special. I actually just barely picked up the 2016 Spider-Man base, tier 4.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I love that.
Yeah, it's up 99. So
yeah, that is still really nice. So the next E-Pack release is going to be, or I say it's next, the big one is going to be the Marvel Black Diamonds. Did you break any of those?
I have not even touched them.
Mm-hmm.
This really, I've never been a movie card fan. You know, where they've always had the Avengers and just every release they have a card set and they have the actors autograph. I haven't really, not really my thing. And I know these ones are expensive, they're crazy expensive, and some of those cards are selling for a lot of money. Yeah,
so I bought one pack and what sold me was the exquisite aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've seen exquisites in sports, so let's just check it out here and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I bought 2 boxes. In the second box I opened, I pulled out a quad diamond Black Panther, which then promptly sold in the group for $650. And so I enjoyed it. I might buy just a couple of boxes just for the gambling aspect of it.
Pretty much our form.
Yeah, I'm just being real. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here
that's what you're doing.
and be honest. I mean, I think you can get your money back if if you hit a couple of good cards. If you don't, you're screwed. You can get some of your money back. But otherwise, I'm gonna I want to wait on the next big Marvel release, which I don't know what that's going to be, to be honest with you.
I might just prepare for Spider-Man metal.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'll be curious if they'll do Avengers first or they'll do Spider-Man first. They may do Avengers first
Yeah.
if they're going to keep that theme going. But I think we're going to get something later in the year because these came out late, these X-Men metal.
Yeah. They're supposed to be originally, it was like February, wasn't it?
Or, yeah, last year, 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a late 2020 release in 2021 because of COVID.
Crazy.
So we've gone for a little while now. We had a question in the very beginning. This Kryptonite said, I don't have any PMGs, basically. How do you start collecting them? Like, where do you start?
eBay or buy a box. That's
Right.
You'll get one in a box. Hopefully, you don't get a pink.
Spend money.
That's what you got to do. They're cheap on eBay right now, so
Yeah.
I would get on there. They're going to be going up.
So a couple of nights ago, somebody, I think from Australia, had a bunch of red PMGs from 2015, and they were selling for $50, $60.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he just made a big investment. So I was just watching them, and even at that price, I had to let them go. But they had some Dark Phoenixes that sold for American dollars like $50 or $60. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have the full red PMG set of the 15s.
For 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to have I was working on the master set of that as well, but between 16 and now, there was some financial struggles, so I sold off what I had to do.
Had to do it. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. A master set of anything PMG into the future, I think is going to be virtually impossible.
Yeah.
There's too much market awareness.
You've got 200 different variations of PMGs with the new set.
Well, did you know that in the E-Pack, there may be a blue parallel?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There's going to have to be some E-Pack specials because you have the periodics, and they did a whole checklist release of that, and then we've got all these periodics that are not on the checklist. They're all dark green. And we're thinking maybe they were supposed to be E-Pack only, and they got released in the hobby boxes.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't buried, I'd pull it out. But I have the dark green out of 34, Dark Phoenix periodic, not on the checklist. There's a green Wolverine out of 66. That's the blue one. But there's another green one. I can't remember what it's numbered out of. It's not on the checklist.
Crazy.
So Kryptonite asked, eBay, and should they buy modern PMGs or the new ones?
That depends on your threshold, man. I mean, however much money you can put out there. I mean, if you can afford some of the, like what we're talking about, those 2015 reds selling for $50, $60, that's a steal. I would have picked those up.
Right. 2013 is always going to, virtually nothing's going to exceed what those are worth because they were the first. They were the pioneers in the cards. They're the Marvel equivalent of a rookie card, right? In the style of PMGs. But and to that point, the 2013 green PMG outsold the 2015 one of one.
Crazy.
Yeah. Would you say?
I said that's crazy.
It's crazy.
That was totally unexpected. I could have never have thought that was something that would happen.
It's interesting you say that because our buddy Norrin Rad said that the green would outsell the gold. and he has some
Yeah,
rationale behind it.
no, I've had people tell me the same thing, and I was like, "That's crazy." If I would have known that, maybe I would have kept it gold, but I don't know.
I got you.
I just
Yeah.
still, I still have this one though.
Who is that? Is that Venom?
That's
Anti?
Venom.
Oh,
Venom's
sweet.
my next guy. Yep,
Yeah, and that one was
I'm
clean too.
I'm a Spider-Man Venom Carnage guy.
Uh huh. Is there is a Carnage PMG, isn't there?
Um, the first one is 17 retros or
Yeah,
17 Spider-Mans.
got you. Got you.
Yep.
Any of those?
I've got some hidden somewhere.
Hidden somewhere.
I don't have the green.
Right. So crypto, other sites are ComC. ComC carries a lot of PMGs. Sometimes if they're not listed on eBay, you can make offers. And that's how I was able to acquire my my purple. I bought it through ComC and made an offer, and I thought it was pretty good. EPAC, surprisingly, Upper Decks EPAC is where I got this one. And there's another one sitting on EPAC. So you just have to message people, make trades if you have cards on EPACs. But that's also where you can get them.
You can also look if you go to Blowout forums, crypto. That's a good place to go to. There's a lot of people that sell cards on there. You can post an ad that says I'm looking for PMGs. People will message you. That's a good place to look.
And the other thing I would say is just get involved in the collecting community.
Yeah.
Where you're having conversations with.
You got no sound. No sound.
Hey,
Oh, there you are.
So I'm using this camera and it just completely turned off for some reason. So let me spin this around. But yeah, you can kind of build that community up. And so to me, that's part of it. Let me turn this off. What happened to this phone? You can still hear me okay?
Yep. You're good.
Okay, good. I don't know why that happened. So what are they going to make? Was this crypto? When are they going to make a Silver Surfer origin movie? Oh, I don't know, man. There's no doubt Surfer will be in the MCU eventually. No doubt. But Marvel cards, Surfer, Fantastic Four, Nightcrawler. Who else? They're banned right now. They're not being released.
Yep. There's several of them.
Can't remember who else it is. That's all I can think of right now. So love it, man. This is good stuff.
It is.
Now, Ian, you're on Facebook and you're doing breaks on Facebook. Are you anywhere else? Are you on Instagram or any other?
I just have a personal account on Instagram. That's about it. Eventually I'm gonna get into the whole social media thing. I'm kind of an old timer when it comes to stuff like that, but
Yeah.
got to do it. So
Well,
yeah, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. Are you going to start breaking on YouTube?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best format. I like Facebook's format because we have the live chat. I guess a lot of places have the live chat, kind of like we're doing right here. So eventually I could move over to YouTube or whatever, and it's just whatever's more accessible to people.
I think a suggestion for you. Have you heard of the Whatnot app?
Whatnot. I think I may have heard of it, but not familiar.
Check it out. It's basically a video app where you can do the things we're doing right now. You can see each other, you can chat, you can live stream, but it is designed for selling and breaking and auction.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll check that out. Where I used to break cards at was breakers.tv. It's a website.
Okay.
They do sports pretty much nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay. Didn't know about that. Yeah, Kryptonite, they're I say banned. They're just, I think it's a licensing issue, probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
That they're not able to produce their products or their images on their products.
I think there's a good example is Mary Jane. If you look at the new Spider-Mans, they don't have Mary Jane per se. It's MJ.
Really?
They never say Mary Jane. Yeah. Have you noticed that on the new Spider-Mans?
No, I didn't notice that. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Her
Whatever.
name's Michelle, but they call her MJ. Yeah, it's supposed to be Mary Jane.
Oh god. Oh, you mean in the movies?
In the movie, yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that in the movies. I thought you were talking about the cards. Yeah, I did know.
No, I think that's a licensing thing where her name, she doesn't even look like Mary Jane. She doesn't have red hair. She's a darker
No, yeah,
girl.
I had to
Her name's Michelle, but she goes by MJ.
MJ. We all know who MJ is. You're not tricking anybody.
Yeah. Good one, MCU.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no, I do know what you're talking about now. You're talking about the movies. Yeah, that's crazy. But I do think that we'll get Fantastic Four, but I think it won't happen. Well, let me say it this way. We've been chatting about this. There's a chance that in the future, Marvel will take over the making of Marvel trading cards, like from Upper Deck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this is just hypothetically speaking, but it seems like that would be reasonable to see in the future, where they would want to put out their own products.
Yeah,
and I think we might get better. We might could get more characters and maybe even better quality.
Yeah, I think the quality comes down to just priority. Most people their priority right now are sports cards. Right. And we look at the sales of these things. I mean, I've seen cards sell for over $1 million, which I've seen guys break in a local card shop 6-7 years ago. And I'm just like, back then, they were Immaculates and the Exquisites and all that. They were like $800 a pack. And I'm like, I don't think so. But
so I'm having a conversation with a guy last night on Instagram, and we're breaking an X-Men metal box. And he owns the one-of-one Venom for 2017, the gold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that used to be on eBay. I saw that.
He bought it. This is the guy that bought it. And he said, I was just getting back into Marvel, but I've been in sports cards. He knew what PMGs were. His favorite is Venom. He saw the price and he went, that's nothing compared to sports cards. Done. Bought it.
Crazy. And that Venom is good looking.
Yeah. And I don't know what it's sold for. You'd probably go find it. But my point is, it's the mindset between how a sports card collector views Marvel cards and the prices compared to someone like me and you. Or, let me speak for myself. Someone like me who doesn't buy or collect sports cards.
Yeah. I've kind of been in both worlds a little bit because I know people that are heavily into sports cards. In fact, that's what got me back into this whole thing is guys are going crazy about their sports cards selling for crazy amounts. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Well, let me show you what I've got. I've got a one-on-one Spider-Man. Let me kind of compare. And then next thing I know, I'm looking up all these crazy sells for PMGs, and I'm thinking, well, I guess it's my time to sell. Yeah.
Yeah. I think your timing was incredible. I mean, even, I think February was kind of the height overall, but I think your timing for yourself was actually better for those particular cards. And they were already graded. That's the other thing. You were not waiting for PSA or Beckett.
I'm not sitting there for 6 months.
Yeah, so I got a couple of buddies and my brother together, and I was like, hey, I'm here. We've never submitted anything graded in February. I've been gathering up my collection, made a couple of purchases, opened up a couple of boxes, and I'm like, y'all need to get your stuff together so we can do this PSA submission because I hear they're going to raise the prices. And, of course, they kind of drug their feet, and it was February 28th is when I submitted them. So that's when everybody submitted them. And so they didn't get checked in until April the 15th and 16th. And
oh, wow.
It is regular submission, so probably another 30 or 45 days. But, 6-7 months to get them back.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess I've got boxes of ones. What's that?
Yeah, Kryptonite says that he's a sports car collector. They're sports car collectors. So they can attest what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I have a little over 100 cards there, and it's not all Marvel Universe, Series 1. It's kind of a whole gamut of cards from 1990 to 1996.
Nice.
I'm excited to get them back.
Yeah, I bet. Sitting there forever. I've got boxes of cards I want to send off, but I'm like, I don't know. I can't spend, what are they, $100 a pop at this point?
200 a pop for PSA.
200 now? Oh, jeez.
It was
I was looking at
300.
Beckett. I think Beckett charges 100 right now.
But yeah, I think you're right at Beckett. And I just wish CGC would jump in the Marvel trading card grading game.
Yeah.
The cases look great. Some of them don't hold up quite that well. Like they come apart
Oh,
a
really?
little bit. Yeah, I've seen that. But I imagine they'll fix that. That's just, something they'll fix. But they're still doing Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, but I think they're going to open up to some other cards here soon. Yu-Gi-Oh. How do you say it?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh something.
Kind of like a 40-year-old man. But they haven't opened up to do Marvel trading cards yet. So, but I would love to have a CGC label of my comic books next to the card.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think so. Let's see, what do we got here? Kryptonites talking sports cards are dictated by the play they have in the games, while comic characters are used by stories. Well, Gary Vee always famously says that Spider-Man can't tear his ACL, or get caught at a massage parlor with people he shouldn't be, like Deshaun Watson right now.
Yeah, or you got Wolverine and Deadpool. They'll just heal. They're good to go in 10 minutes.
Right. So the investment is a lot more sure in that way.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's right. Okay, so if people want to find you for box breaks, follow you on Facebook. Is that right?
You can follow me on Facebook, Cards of Metal. You can follow just my personal. I'm going to eventually be setting one up for Instagram. I'll get there. But yeah, you guys want to break some cards, come on over. It's a good time. I always make sure to get taken care of as far as shipping and top loaders and all that good stuff.
Yeah, guys, I just broke box with you last Thursday. Had a lot of fun hanging out, and
yeah, it's always a good time. You get the group together. Everybody knows each other. It's fun.
That's what
we did end up breaking the Wolverine blast furnace. Did you see that?
Oh, I did. That's a wonderful card. I like that a lot. I really like the blast furnace. I'm gonna chase that full set. Let's see here. Show everybody. But here's some blast furnaces. Camera. So that's Bishop. Here's the Wolverine.
One.
Professor X. That's the short print. Oh, I have these up backwards. Yeah. There we go. More colorful side. Cable. Colossus. Gladiator. Rachel. Hope Summers. Juggernaut. Kitty Pryde. There's my girl Phoenix. There's Rachel Summers. And then Toad. Yeah, so those blast furnaces they're nice.
They are. I like the cross-stitching foil, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So Kryptonite says they're going to follow you and do a metal break with you.
Okay, Thursday. We'll be there at what am I doing it at? 7 Central.
7 Central. Yeah. It was good. And then what are the prices to do a break with you?
So depends on how many people. I've kind of got a breakdown. Usually 5 is kind of a fun number. It's $67 a box. If you're in the U.S., Canada, I charge a little bit more to get across the border, but
right. Very cool. Hey, what does your background say?
My what?
Your background.
Oh, my background. So that is actually my band logo.
Cerebus?
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's still a work in progress. This is my backdrop. I actually have another one that I use for my brakes, but it's put up and washed, so you don't want to see all the crap in my garage. My garage is my man cave.
Okay. Now Cerebus is it's a heavy metal band, right?
Yeah, it is.
Is it a particular? I mean, I know the style of music, but where do y'all normally play?
I'm kind of in the. It's hard to say how to explain what it is. It's more like a progressive, melodic progressive metal.
Okay. And what is
your? I play guitar and vocals.
Oh, you sing too?
I do, yeah.
Oh, where could we hear your music?
On my Instagram.
Oh, so okay.
Or if you want to dig deep on my Facebook, it's been a while.
Crypto, yeah, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time this Thursday.
Yeah, if you follow my account, I always put an event for it, so it'll
Mhm.
remind everybody that the event's coming up.
Yep, yep. That's how I remembered last week was the event.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You see my
Fun
dad
time.
in there?
Is that who that was? Yeah, Leon.
Yeah, Leon, and he is like he's not into Marvel at all. He saw that I was in the event, and so it like notified him. But he likes kind of following what I'm following, even though he doesn't follow it, so to speak.
Yeah,
So it's fun to see him jump in there.
that's what my family's like. They're like, "What is this grown man buying Marvel cards for? What's going on?"
Right. He jumped on there and said, "I'm looking for the Joker, the DC card." But
That's
I love
awesome.
it. No, it was great. It was great. So you're reaching all kinds of people, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. I appreciate you having me on here because brings me in the spotlight a little bit, helps me. I love the Marvel cards and the community. I want to help everybody else. That's
Well,
why I like the card breaks.
I want to make sure it's clear. You're one of the main reasons I have this because
Awesome.
because Ian and I were promoting your auction of your cards, and making sure that the community knew about it, and that we could hang out together and just see history in the making when those cards sold. And you jumped on live with us. You remember?
Yeah.
And hung out with us. I believe you hung out on Instagram. I don't think
Yeah, it was Instagram. I just jumped on there and I saw you guys talking. I'm like, are you guys talking about my cards?
Yep, we were talking about them, and so with that, it was also on YouTube. So my video was on YouTube. Ian's was on Instagram, and we were simultaneously broadcasting both. And but the owner of this card eventually watched those videos along with my other videos on YouTube and reached out to me and offered me the card.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. You don't even have to search for it. It came to
No,
you.
I didn't. No, they just commented in my on one of my videos, and a not very watched video of all things, and said, "Hey, look, I've been following your channel. Love your channel. I have the 1/1 2017 Flair Ultra Retro Spider-Man, and I'm ready to unload it. Would love for you to have it." And
that's meant to be yours. Like I felt like those other cards were meant to be mine. That's meant to be yours.
I totally agree. And to your point, that was kind of the seller's position too. They knew that I was like I don't view myself as an investor of cards, although I love the investment aspect of it because, full disclosure, I spent 14 years as a certified real estate appraiser. So value is something that, is always turning in my head. But he recognized that, I just genuinely love to collect and genuinely love to collect Spider-Man and wanted to get it into a collector's hands. So
it's amazing.
Yeah. Cool.
Crypta. I see Crypta. Dog with 3 heads. Nice.
Oh, is that what a Cerebus is?
Kind of. It's a play on. It's a play on words.
Okay. So they.
But yes, close. It's a Cerberus. A Cerberus is a 3-headed dog.
Cerberus.
In Greek mythology.
Okay, I know the dog you're talking about. I didn't realize the name.
Yeah.
Oh, Ginger Man. Ginger Man's on. Hey, Ginger Man, your logo looks really good, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
So, do you know Gingy?
I don't. No.
Oh, well, we got to get you on social media more, Ian.
I know, man. I got to get with the times.
Yeah. So, like you need help. But Gingy is in the UK. He's our buddy. We hang out together on Instagram and YouTube. We create content together, and he has his own channel, and his channel emphasizes what's going on in the market, and just looking at current sales, just to keep people up to date on what's going on in Marvel trading cards.
Ginger Man. I'm going to go on there and add you right now. How about that? Just so I don't forget.
Yeah. And then we got some Ian. Yeah, pleasure to see your face. So he's got a video about your cards. I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sure he talked about them a number of times. How's it feel
Mr.
to be
Nick,
a legend?
right? We gotcha. Oh, wait. He follows me. Okay. I don't even know.
Because you're a legend, dude. You're a legend. People making videos about you.
Yeah, I see it all the time. I'm like, man, that's crazy.
It is. It really is. So, but man, hey, this has been such a pleasure. Anytime you want to do this again, I'm all in.
Yeah, man. It was my pleasure. Loved talking with you, chopping it up about everything.
Yep.
Looking forward to more. Hopefully we can continue to get some nice cards and
Yeah,
enjoy
we'll
the
do
hobby.
some breaks, and when Spider-Man comes out, maybe we can do those half a case breaks together.
Oh yeah. And if you want to do a half case, you just let me know and we'll do it live and you and I will pick 6 each or even 3 each or whatever, and we'll
Whatever.
go at it.
Oh, you want to do a battle? You do a pack
Yeah.
battle? Did you watch that?
Yeah, that was awesome. I love that.
That was fun. So Marvel Madness, he's a cool dude. He's got a channel too. Follow him if you haven't. And he and I were probably the two most pumped guys that I was talking to about X-Men Metal going into it. And we've watched these sports guys do these box battles, but you lose the whole box. And neither one of us had the stomach to lose a whole box.
Oh, no.
And so we said, look, there's 12 packs. We'll go 11 cards deep. Whoever has the best card in each pack wins a round. Whoever gets to 6 rounds wins the 12 pack that's already set over to the side. So that's how we set that up. But dude, that box was loaded for me.
Deadpool Geode, right?
Well, the Deadpool Geode was in the 12 pack. I didn't even use that to win the battle.
Oh, it was. That's right.
Yeah.
And Josh hit the Wolverine copper, right?
In the 12 pack.
Yeah.
And
he had to send it to you. But
well, I traded it to him.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, I traded it back to him. I was never going to let it leave him. I was like, hey man, just figure out something comparable and we'll be good. We actually made a really cool trade together. But that Deadpool,
he praises you on that, by the way.
What's that?
He praised you on that, by the way.
Oh, well, that's very kind of him. Yeah.
Yep.
This is all just good fun for me, you know.
Yep.
And but that Deadpool Geode, I ended up putting on eBay, and it sold for $765.
Oh, wow.
Which was way overpriced.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it at the time. It was the only one on eBay, so I was like $2,500, just because I wasn't sure what it. It was like day one of the cards being out, and somebody made me an offer, and I just accepted it. And then about 5 days later, the other geodes started coming out on eBay, and eventually that price dropped. So people that are listening, sell early, don't buy early.
Yep.
That's the lesson. Sell quick and then wait to buy what you want. So.
Yep.
Sweet. All right, bud. Well, hey, I'll be looking out for you Thursday night.
Okay, sounds good, Justin. I appreciate having me on, man.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. It's always,
Thanks, guys.
Have a marvelous day.
See you guys.